Welcome to the Bay Area for one of the best rivalries in college sports. The Stanford Cardinal and the California Golden Bears tonight on Pete Newell Court at Haas Pavilion, as this one is enormous for Jared Haas and the Cardinal. As the latest edition of our bracketologist, Joe Lunardi's bracketology, has Stanford among the last four in. That's why it's critical for the Cardinal to come up with a road victory tonight. With former Maryland All-American and NBA champion Adrian Branch, Roxy Bernstein with you, and AB, we have two of the premier scorers in the Pac-12 going toe-to-toe with Oscar Da Silva among the candidates for Pac-12 Player of the Year.
Yeah, he's willed himself into being an excellent MVP candidate, scores in the flow of the game. You never know when he's going to attack. And for Matt Bradley, he's averaged 18 points a game, missed 7 out of 9 games. But the record doesn't show, but this is a young man that's very competitive and hates to lose.
These two clubs are meeting for the 279th time in Berkeley tonight, as Cal has won the last two. They played 3 times last year, each winning on their home floor. As Cal winning at home late last January, and then they hooked up in the first round of the Pac-12 tournament in Vegas, and Cal stunned Stanford 63-51, would turn out to be the final game for each team when everything came to a grinding halt last March. Oscar Da Silva across the key, and he has the first points of the night.
Well, you look at this and you show that there's no mental advantage. Throw out the records in this one. What was the rivalry now? 200 and what, Roxy?
279th meeting for Cal and Stanford.
And you've been there for 240 of them, I would say.
Just a small fraction less than that. Brent Anticevich, and it's deflected out by Michael O'Connell. It stays with the Golden Bears and 6 on the shot clock.
This is a young man that can really help take pressure off Matt Bradley. You know what you're going to get from Bradley, but who is going to help him ease the scoring load?
Ryan Bentley the miss, and Stanford with the rebound. Here's Jaden Dallaire, who's playing at such a high level right now. A 3 on the way from Spencer Jones, and the rebound, Ryan Bentley and the Golden Bears.
This is the start that Cal wants. They don't want it to get up and down. They want to be able to control the possessions. They don't mind looking for their offense late in the shot clock.
And a sideline violation, Cal with the turnover, and turnovers have been an ongoing issue for Mark Fox and Cal this year. Second season for Mark Fox at the helm of the Cal program and trying to rebuild this proud program.
Good spacing,
here is Da
good
Silva.
ball movement.
4-0, Oscar Da Silva leading the game.
Roxy, this is mid-season form now. A lot of his scoring, as we talked about in the open, is off of an assist of a teammate.
Mikhail Foreman the pull-up, and Cal is on the board.
You and I have the advantage of seeing it at a bird's eye view, but it's a simple game. You want to get high percentage shots, and you want to get sports shots.
Baseline, baseline.
We welcome those of you just joining us to Haas Pavilion in Berkeley, along with Adrian Branch, Roxy Bernstein with you. 4-2 Stanford with the early lead over Cal, all 4 points coming from Oscar Da Silva, as the Cardinal among the last 4 teams in right now, according to Joe Lunardi. And that's why tonight is huge for Jared Haas and the Cardinal on the road as Michael O'Connell to miss. Cal trying to snap a 4-game losing streak tonight.
Roxy, this is an excellent league, and it's unforgiving if you're not prepared. You've got to throw caution to the wind, get high percentage shots, and not give live ball turnovers if you're either team.
11 on the shot clock for Cal's large team, and the 7-footer from Germany in the game. Jared Haas, the coach of the Cardinal, in his 5th season on the farm, hiding right behind Kevin Brill, our official. As Jared doesn't want any camera time right now.
You're saying he's shy?
He's a little focused. He's got a lot on his mind right now.
He was focused at shoot around today as well.
Mikhail Foreman way off on a 3. So the 279th meeting of Stanford and Cal. And the Cardinal are playing without 3 key players again tonight, as Jared Haas does not have Dejon Davis, who's now missed the last 5 games with a knee injury, after missing 6 out of 7 earlier. Bryce Wills missing his 9th consecutive game with a knee injury. And then Zaire Williams, who was in quarantine after attending a family funeral. And with the COVID protocols, he is not available to play for Jared Haas tonight. Oscar Da Silva the rebound.
You imagine what it would look like with those guys. Look at all that firepower. These are all key guys that can contribute. And we hadn't even mentioned Michael O'Connell yet, who is the Rookie of the Week.
And a 3 for the Cardinal as Stanford makes only 5 threes per game, which is the fewest in the Pac-12, but Jaden Dallaire makes one right there.
There's been no hotter player
for the Golden Bears.
Bradley. Yeah. We talked about Bradley in the open, that he's a scorer. He missed 7 out of 9 games. Coach Mark Fox wants him to ease into it. And how about that game? They lost at Arizona, but are you kidding me? When he scored over 20 points on 10 shots, very efficient.
Jaden Dallaire losing it out of bounds. A turnover by Stanford. The Cardinal up 2. Early stages of the 279th meeting of Cal and Stanford. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Tostitos. Get to the good stuff. Some of the great players in this rivalry over the recent history. Jason Kidd back in the early 90s was dominant. The Lopez twins. How about Sharif Abdur-Rahim as a freshman? He was Pac-10 Player of the Year.
That was
and also Brevin Knight, who was a catalyst for Mike Montgomery in elevating the Stanford program to one of the elite programs back in the 90s.
Now, weren't you in the 90s?
I was. There's a reason why I wasn't on that those pictures. There's a reason why he is.
Play?
There's Jason Kidd.
Oh, man. He's going to be a great head coach again. He's been winning, and now, second time around, he'll do great as a head coach in the NBA.
And Jared Haas was a teammate of Jason Kidd for 1 year at Cal. And they were
to Kansas, I believe, right?
Yeah, they were one of the outstanding teams in Cal history in 1993 as they went to the Sweet 16. And Jared Haas went to the Sweet 16, by the way. Adrian, all 4 seasons he played, his 1 year at Cal and all 3 at Kansas. Just over 5 minutes in. Oscar Da Silva has his shot blocked, and in a tie-up, and the arrow, it goes to Cal, is good defense in the post from Grant Anticevich. And there is Jared Haas in a Cal uniform back in 1992-93.
Coach, where you going? Where you going? You're dribbling, looking at the floor. I see why he led the team in ruck burns, floor burns.
Well, yeah,
like
also you see he had
Rocks.
Jason Kidd and Lamont Murray watching him bring the ball at the floor.
You become what you hang around, so he must have been a great shooter. Those guys could fill it up.
Up and under from Grant Anticevich. And the rebound secured by Jaden Dallaire and Stanford. Stanford at 10-7, 6-5 in the Pac-12 as Jaden Dallaire has been playing at such a high level recently. And Dallaire with 5 to put Stanford up 4.
Roxy, I heard an NBA scout today say he reminds him of a young Kyle Kuzma. I'm going to go back and say Kiki Vandeweghe. He reminds me of it with his shoulders and hips being able to get through the gaps.
AB, you're dating yourself, man. If you're throwing a Kiki Vandeweghe reference out there in a comparison. As Mark Fox in his second year at Cal, spent 9 years at Georgia, 5 at Nevada, where he was a 3-time WAC Coach of the Year. And trying to rebuild this Cal program. It's Lars Tiemann at the line for Cal. And the 7-footer from Germany, just a 51% foul shooter.
Roxy, how inspiring was Coach Fox? First of all, I want you to know you were in high school before cell phones like me, so don't try it. But how refreshing was Coach Fox? He understands that he didn't have an off season, he didn't have a preseason with these guys, and yet they're so inspired to play the right way and try to get a win tonight. I believe him.
Well, these teams, as DJ Thorpe checks in for Cal, but both these teams really, Adrian, and you throw the LA schools in the mix as well, were really up against it in terms of what they could do in the offseason with all the restrictions in place. And look, as well documented, and many people out there know what Stanford has gone through and finally just getting back to campus last week.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was it in the preseason? They used the tennis court. Coach Fox
Both
said they
teams
couldn't
did.
use a basketball. Both of them couldn't use a basketball, imaginary basketball, and the team meetings couldn't use the film room, the weight room. So, yes, this has been endurance and a testing character. Absolutely.
Second foul on Michael O'Connell. And that's looms large as Noah Tates checks in, the freshman from Las Vegas for O'Connell, considering Stanford is without Dejon Davis, Bryce Wills, and Zaire Williams again. Jared Hyder's pass inside is picked off by Spencer Jones.
That's one thing Cal wants to do. You don't want to give turnovers. You always want to get a shot attempt or try to get to the free throw line. That wasn't a good possession.
Oscar De Silva bumped a foul on DJ Thorpe, will put De Silva, a 77% free throw shooter, at the line for a pair.
Now, a game within a game, Roxy, is where you have a turnover. Cal didn't get a shot attempt, and then you've got an MVP candidate going one-on-one with DJ Thorpe. You've got to run at him and get the ball out of his hand.
One more for De Silva, who leads the Pac-12 in scoring. He's also fifth in rebounding as Matt Bradley comes back for Cal. And Bradley would be in the top 5 in the league in scoring had he played enough games to qualify, and he sprained both ankles, which, as you alluded to, AB, cost him 7 out of 9 recently, but now playing his way back into form is 2 20-point games in his last 3 outings.
Does it seem like he's been in school for the last 12 years, Roxy? He has been dynamite. And all these guys deserve him. Hard
And
to
Bradley
guard.
averaging 18.2, so you see where he would fit in. Would he have qualified? And there he is drawing a foul as De Silva just under 19 a game to lead the league. And Matt Bradley will go to the line, the junior for Cal, who returned against USC back on January 23rd. 7 20-point games this year for Matt Bradley. But the games missed, and it's not just Bradley. I mean, he was out for 7 out of 9. Grant Anticevich in December had an emergency appendectomy that cost him 4 games and still is not really back to 100%.
Yeah, look at that right there. That's been a walking mash unit right here. Bowser as well has missed some. Kwame. So it's no kidding, Roxy. It's no margin of error, but you have to live in the moment. And for Cal, they're still attached to this game. They're playing at home, and they're trying to get their 3rd straight against their across-the-bay rivals.
Loose ball, and Cal forces a turnover. And Cal trying to snap that 4-game losing streak here tonight. Ryan Bentley moving in.
Good ball movement.
And a 3 for Ryan Bentley. It's a welcome sign for Mark Fox and Cal as Bentley ties the game.
Bentley and Foreman are 1 and 2 in most 3-pointers made in the Pac-12. So again, I'm keeping an eye on anybody that can help complement the scoring load for what they can do for the Bears.
And the lean in and the roll for Max Merle, the freshman from Omaha, who's played sparingly recently.
That's what makes Oscar De Silva so dangerous. You never know when he's going to pass the ball. He doesn't just go hunting his offense.
And Andre Kelly has his shot blocked. Got it back, and Kelly knocks the game at 13.
Andre Kelly working himself back into shape as well. He's 3rd in the conference at 60% field goal pursuiter, so he should be able to get himself 10 to 12 points when he gets deep post possessions.
Cal needs him to get going in the offense, and he struggled at Arizona on Saturday as a foul called. Tied at 13. Cal and Stanford at Haas Pavilion for the Cardinal. It's been a long journey home. We'll chronicle what Jared Haas and Stanford went through next. Well, the Stanford Cardinal, it's been a rough journey for them to try to get back to campus. This was them over the summer where they couldn't be in the gym. They're working out in the tennis courts right near Maples Pavilion. They had workouts in the football stadium, the Stanford Medical Center. This was their home away from home. Kaiser Permanente Arena in Santa Cruz, the home of the G League Warriors franchise. And Stanford finally got back to playing a home game on Tuesday. Their first home game was against USC after spending an eternity what it felt like on the road. Stanford was on the road for 59 out of 64 days, a 24, then a 35-day road trip. Their first 16 games were played away from Maples Pavilion. And it's been just a crazy journey for Jared Haas and this team, and it's remarkable how well they performed considering the odds are against them and what they've had to deal with.
Absolutely. They use that as a teaching experience. This is real life. You have to make the adjustments with no excuses. And for both teams, both coaching staffs are proud of how they've represented themselves.
Joel Brown skipping to the bucket. And the rebound tipped, goes out of bounds. It stays with Cal. And they'll put a fresh 20 on the shot clock as Joel Brown finally was cleared. Now, Cal had an adventure to deal with this week as they got back from Arizona. And Joel Brown, when Cal came back, had a false positive test. So for the coronavirus. And so he had to isolate. So did his roommate, Andre Kelly. They finally were cleared yesterday as Matt Bradley gives Cal their first lead. But Cal's had their own issues. There's no way they're feeling sorry for Stanford and what the Cardinal had to go through.
That's a great point, Roxy. Remember Coach Fox said they can't use the locker room. They haven't been able to eat meals together in 11 months. They don't use the film room, and even the coaching staff couldn't meet together. So this has been a test in fortitude.
Oscar Da Silva has 8, and Stanford within 1. And both programs have had to deal with that. They can't be in their offices. They can't meet as a team. Neither team has been in their locker room since March. And these are the constraints that they have to work on. And it's been remarkable with Mark Fox and his staff, and he's got a tremendous staff with Trent Johnson over there, and Marty Wilson, a former head coach at Pepperdine, Chris Harriman, Andrew Francis, the way they've held this team together, as you see Matt Bradley hitting the last 3. And on the other side with Stanford, what Jared Haas and his program has been through, and look, he's got a great staff also, and Jeff Wilburn, a longtime assistant, was actually an assistant at Cal when Jared played for Cal. Adam Cohen, Jesse Pruitt, they can't meet in their offices. If they want to have like a staff meeting, they all live basically in the same complex area on this southeast side of the Stanford campus. They basically have to walk out onto the street in the little courtyard there, and they can have a distance conversation. That's a staff meeting right now for Jared Haas and the Cardinal.
That's creative. That is very, very creative. And it's interesting, we asked, what hat do you wear the most during this? Is it coach? Is it father? Is it dad? Is it police officer? And Coach Fox said counselor. It's counselor because you have to have that mental stability and keep their compass pointed north.
One more for Jaden Dallaire as Jared Hyder, the transfer from Fresno State, checks back in. As Dallaire trying to give Stanford the lead, he's an 80% foul shooter. He's been in double figures in each of the last 5, and without question, Jaden Dallaire playing the best basketball of his Stanford career. He's had 20 or more in each of the last 3. But it's also, Adrian, he's getting an opportunity now with the guys out, missing Williams and Davis and Wills. Somebody's had to step up, and Jaden Dallaire has been a huge, huge spark for Jared Haas and the Cardinals.
Yeah, the simple thing is he kept working. Preparation meets opportunity, and he is just going out there playing. Look at that. That's a good try. He's losing himself in the flow of the game, Roxy.
And it's a 3-point lead for the Cardinal.
Both teams are getting what they want. The Cardinal is very stingy. They've been in the top 25 on defensive opposition scoring, but right now, Cal should be feeling good because they've been able to get what they want, except on that possession.
Here's Jaden Dallaire to the bucket, and Jaden Dallaire finishes in transition. And a timeout taken by Cal as the Cardinal on an 8-0 run, and Stanford has matched their largest lead of the ball game, fueled by De Silva and Dallaire. Stanford up 5. Eight straight for the Cardinal, and Stanford has matched their largest lead. They're up 5 as the Stanford Cardinal have made 8 of 12 from the floor.
Points in the paint,
6 of their last
12-2
7.
right now. Yeah, it's 12-2 right now, keeping them in the game. Let's see if Cal can get something going to the basket or get to the free throw line. Good ball movement, Roxy. I like this side to side, unselfish, looking to attack.
Ryan Bentley inside. And the grad transfer from Penn.
Roxy, you can see a good play happening before it even happens. The spacing, the poise, taking their time, trying to play off of one another and getting points off of assists is a coach's dream.
And a finish inside by Max Merle, and the Cardinal go back up 5.
69% and already have 5 assists, so they're moving the ball. Steve Lavin would say, share the sugar. Remember that name, Roxy?
Yes.
Good classic.
You know Coach Lav very well. Spencer Jones a 3. 13-2 run for the Cardinal.
For Cal, they've got to slow it down because the game is a game of runs. You don't want to play catch-up for the rest of this first half. See if Bradley will call his number.
Here he is, the step back. And Matt Bradley with his 3rd 3. He has 11, and Cal within 5.
And doesn't force his offense. Roxy, I was known as a scorer back in the dark ages, and I'd be hunting my shot. He doesn't hunt his shot.
Max Merle spinning, and the freshman, a surprising 6 already for Max Merle.
Playing like he wants to get playing time. He's hungry. He's playing with the urgency, and he's scoring in the flow of the game. I like what I'm seeing from this young guy.
For Cal, Adrian, is there a concern they're too reliant on Matt Bradley?
Well, you are
Ryan Bentley, the bucket.
Right now. You are what you are right now. Matt Bradley makes it easy, but even for a great player, his opportunity is to try to get shots for his teammates to make them better. But they've got to rise to the challenge as well, Roxy. Both teams doing the same thing. They are moving the basketball. They are trying to be hard to guard.
Lucas Kasunas. Now, will Michael O'Connell get an assist on that one?
No, that was ugly. That was foul.
Oh, come on, give him an assist. That was the backboard pass.
I told Coach I'm mad at him because he took him from my beloved Turks. But you know the story behind that one.
He was committed to go to Maryland to play lacrosse. And it's Grant Anticevich missing a 3 as Michael O'Connell was a top 100 recruit in both lacrosse and basketball. And then when Stanford needed a point guard with Tyrell Terry declaring and going to the NBA, Jared Haas stole Michael O'Connell for playing lacrosse from your alma mater,
I'm mad at him. I'm mad at him. Lacrosse is good. It looks like he got fouled on that one. But you're right, and he made the right decision. This young man is going to be fantastic for the Cardinal.
Stanford by 7 as the Cardinals shooting 67% from the floor, and some unexpected offense from Max Merle.
Coming off the bench, going out, up and away. Wow, where did this young man come from? Confidence is a wonderful thing when it's under control, Roxy. And guess what? He's left-handed like Uncle A. I like him.
All right, Kevin, here it's a 7-point lead for the Cardinal, but Gonzaga just out in the valley here in Northern California, and Stockton playing Pacific, and The net ranking at number 2. They're number 1 in the AP poll. They lead the country in scoring at 17-0. And I know that what the scoreboard says right now, I don't expect the scoreboard to stay that way very long.
Oh, you're a downer. You're a downer. Come on. Have some hope in the long shot.
Are you giving the Pacific Tigers and Damon Stoudemire a chance for the miracle tonight?
If he comes off the bench.
Oscar
At
De Silva
almost 40.
with 12. Oh yeah, if Damon puts himself into the ball game, they have a much better chance.
He can score. He's still in shape, I'll tell you that.
He looks fantastic.
Yes.
He looks just as good as he did when he was playing. Matt Bradley rims out the 3, and the follow the putback from the freshman Jalen Celestine for Cal. Stanford is 13 of 19 from the floor, 68%.
Well, they're locked in. They have
An
to
illegal
respect. They know
screen.
Cal can beat them, Rocks.
An offensive foul on the freshman Brandon Angel, his second foul.
You know, I heard a coach say, and he wasn't being a wise guy, he said Cal has been one of the best 36-minute teams in the country when everything is clicking, and you've got to be able to finish the games. And he said it actually for both teams. Stanford ran out of gas, remember, at USC, and a heartbreaking loss to Arizona State. So I think that has some validity. You've got to play out 40 minutes.
USC scored the final 6 points at Maples Pavilion on Tuesday. Nice touch pass. Bradley to Jalen Celestine.
Yeah. Hey, Roxy, I never get tired. I'm going to speak for both of us. We never get tired of seeing good basketball, moving the ball, and that bodes well to a coaching staff. When you see them playing for one another, that's because you've got great leadership on the sidelines.
Floater in the key from Noah Tate, his first points. And it's a 7-point margin for the Cardinal. But Tuesday night, Stanford led for the majority of that game, Adrian, against USC. Evan Mobley, 23 points, 11 rebounds to lead SC to the road win. Stanford shot 52% from the floor and lost the game as Oscar De Silva, season low, 9 points.
That was a heartbreaking loss, even with Oscar being pedestrian in that game. You got to be able to finish those possessions. 3 possessions were the difference in that. But Coach Haas is saying they've been playing well for the last month, the last 4 games.
Joel Brown looks to push for Cal, but Stanford, good transition defense.
It's a good flow to this game. I would say both teams are getting high percentage shots. That's Kelly in the kill zone right there with his 2 feet set going over that left shoulder.
He's shooting 65% from the field in conference play. As he has been a work in progress this year, was out of shape through the offseason because there were no workouts, and he's been playing his way into shape, and right now is feeling as good as he has all season.
Well, he said, Roxy, takes that one since you're talking about me. Block that shot. Appreciate the Cal Bear. And he's a Cal Bear.
Foul
he's
going
a big guy.
for the rebound, and it is on Andre Kelly, his first. 2:41 remaining in the first half. 34-29. The Cardinal and the Golden Bears going toe-to-toe. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Visit progressive.com. All right, Kev, full day of college hoops across all our networks on Saturday, highlighted by Carolina and Duke in a Sonic blockbuster at 6 Eastern. Then it's the border battle between number 11 Tennessee and Kentucky at Rupp Arena. Both games are on ESPN and the app, so you can watch from anywhere. In the Bay Area tonight for this rivalry, the 279th meeting of Cal and Stanford on the hardwood. As Roy Williams, the mentor for Jared Haas, as Jared played for Roy Williams at Kansas, then worked for him at Kansas and North Carolina before becoming the head coach at UAB, and now in his 5th year at Stanford.
Well, that's a lot of wins. They've been doing it for a long time, and all of them have their own unique style. Coach K is different from the 2-3 zone of Boeheim.
Second foul on Andre Kelly. And Oscar Da Silva back to the free throw line for Stanford.
Now, Roxy, that's
Silva
what would be
has
frustrating.
12.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying he's got 12 points.
Yeah, no, that would be frustrating because Kelly is playing well, but then you just picked up 2 back-to-back cheap fouls. You've got, what, 2:25 to finish out the half. He's going to have to sit down. That's where you lose your margin of error. You always want to have your best players on the floor for as long as you can.
As Da Silva now 4 for 4 from the line. And it's Stanford by 7. They've led by as many as 9. And for the Cardinal, Adrian, this is like an NBA schedule for them. They're playing their 4th game in 8 days.
Yeah, you know what? Because of postponements and reschedules, and the Pac-12 has done a great job of trying to get them back and get them healthy. But you're right, Roxy, this is reminding me of an NBA schedule. You're playing on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, instead of the usual Thursday or Saturday.
Foul on Cal's DJ Thorpe. It is his 2nd. And are the officials going to the monitor to see if that's a hook and hold? And if it is determined that it is a hook and hold, it would be a flagrant 1 against Thorpe, which would mean Stanford will get 2 free throws and possession.
You know, you're right about that. I hadn't heard that all season long with that hook and hold move, but yeah, that one is obvious.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that one gets upgraded.
I mean, cut him slack. His dad is Big Otis, who was in my year. Man, that joker was a world champion. Woo, man, he was tough.
Otis Thorpe, also a former NBA All-Star on those great Rockets teams. So here is the rule book for a hook and hold. An illegal contact caused by hooking an opponent over or under the arm with a clamp. And that's what it appeared that DJ Thorpe did to Lucas Kasunas.
Oh, come on. Yeah, you know what? I respect it. I'm a rule follower. That's a good call. That's an obvious call right here. But big guys are going to play. I mean, let them play. They're going to make contact.
I get it, AB. I'm with you, but it's the rule. It's the rule.
Yeah, and not complaining. Not complaining about it. I think that's a little flagrant 1. I think that's a little strong.
So it is determined it is a flagrant 1 against Thorpe. So it means 2 free throws for Stanford and possession here with 2:09 left in the first half. And Mark Fox getting an explanation from Kevin Brill and doesn't seem too thrilled.
Yeah.
Can't say that I blame him for being frustrated, but when he sees the video, it's the right call.
It's the right call. I think when you talk to the competition committee, I think every 2 years or so, you get a chance to bring that up. I think that's just excessive. Maybe even there's a foul and you take it out on the side, but that's a little touchy to me, Rox.
Lucas Kasunas missed both. The junior from Lithuania, only a 55% foul shooter, started now the last 5 games with the 3 guys out for the Cardinal. And here is Stanford with possession with 2:09 to go. And I guess no worse for wear for Cal, considering Kasunas missed both free throws.
Yeah, but he's really given them some good minutes. He is not thrown to run off. He doesn't take shots that he can't make. I like his game.
Off balance, and Noah Tate's the bucket.
Coming out with a little swag. Toss the ball to the referee, scored easily. Like, basketball is a game of confidence. It's a game of angles. If you're able to take the angles, take advantage of your opponent.
Joel Brown stumbles, and Oscar Da Silva dives. There's another floor burn for Oscar Da Silva, which is a stat that Stanford tracks, as Jared Haas was known as floor burns when he played for Kansas. And Joel Brown may have caught a finger in the eye, seems to be grimacing a bit.
Oh, yeah, hit his knee. Hit his knee on Oscar Da Silva. Boy, that's no fun there. I've been there, Rox.
And there he is talking to Cal athletic trainer Barry Parsons. As Joel Brown coming out. And again, we talked about it. He didn't practice this week because of the false positive for coronavirus when he came back, and the team came back from Arizona, so he couldn't practice. And his roommate is Andre Kelly, who had to isolate as well before they were cleared, as Noah Tate's the slam. And even because of contact tracing, the coaches had to coach from a distance and practiced on Tuesday for California.
Yeah, having to adjust as they go. No one's going to feel sorry for you. Careless turnover. You don't want a live ball turnover.
Noah Tate's the finish, and Stanford is up 42-29. And a surge here toward the end of the half in their largest lead.
How about Tate? Average 3 points a game. He's at 8 right now. 4 for 5. He's been a difference maker off the bench.
And Bradley comes up empty, and the Cardinal can play for the final shot of the half. They've scored 8 straight points as Jared Haas will take that use it or lose it timeout. But the Cardinal using Cal turnovers to easy buckets in transition.
That's what you don't want. That's saying turnovers for touchdowns. Right here, the deflection coming out, and Tate, how about it? Coming up nice and easy. His 8th point. Oh, slam dunk on the vertical. I like that one. And then almost back-to-back, same way. Watch Oscar making the extra pass. And Tate's is feeling good, playing off of the potential player of the year.
Big Monday coming up. Carolina and Miami from the Dean Dome at 7 Eastern. Then we head to the Big 12. Cade Cunningham at Oklahoma State. And Fog Allen Fieldhouse taking on number 23 Kansas. Big Monday on ESPN and the app. Carolina and the U. And get to see Cade Cunningham, who a lot of people think will be the #1 pick in the draft. Evan Mobley trying to make a name for himself for Andy Enfield's Trojans. And they appear to be, as we talked to NBA draft analyst for ESPN, Mike Schmitz, last week, Adrian, and he's got Evan Mobley at #2 right behind Cunningham.
Well, both of them would get what NBA scouts say, a bag. So you go 1 or 2, they're going to pick up a lot of money. But both of them are talented, and I think they'll make a contribution in their first year.
The miss from De Silva. Grant Anticipich, a last chance for Cal. Throws it away, and Spencer Jones missed a 3 at the horn. That was gift drafted for Jones, who missed a 3. But the Cardinals shoot 63% from the floor in the first half. And a really good 20 minutes on the road for Jared Haas and the Cardinal to start this game. Coming up, it'll be the halftime report from the studio. Kevin Connors, Sean Farnham, Jordan Cornette, the E-Trade halftime report. Getting ready for the start of the second half in Berkeley. This Bay Area rivalry, and Stanford closed out the first half on an 8-0 run. And they're up 13 on their arch rivals from across the Bay. 42-29, the Cardinal on top with Adrian Branch, Roxy Bernstein with you. And a huge first half, AB, for Oscar De Silva. 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists.
Ultra efficient. The work ain't hard. I'm using the word ain't because he is taking it to him, taking his time. You never know when he's going to score. That's a good assist. And look at the veteran. He has willed himself to be an MVP candidate, and he's kept Stanford relevant.
Our first half summary, and Stanford, who shot 61% in the first half. Cal shooting 41%. And points in the paint, 28 of Stanford's 42. Matt Bradley hitting 3 threes, leading Cal with 11. But Cal needs some other guys to come to the party. And if they're going to make a surge here to get back into this one with Stanford, Matt Bradley's going to need some help.
Yeah, Grant Anticipich, he's too good of a player. Roxy, 17 minutes, 0 for 4, 1 rebound. This young man can get you 15 and 8. He's that talented. And also Kelly, those 2 bigs that you see right there, he's had 4 points in 9 minutes because of fouls. He's had to sit down. So let's see what Mark Fox, as a veteran coach, making the adjustments is simply attack. Listen, this is home. This is our crosstown rivals. We beat them 2 out of 3 times the last time we played. We have not shown ourselves to be as competitive as we can be.
And Cal recently, even though they're in the midst of a 4-game losing streak, they've been very competitive. Other than the game against Arizona last Saturday in Tucson, but you look at the previous 3, easily Cal could have won those 3 games against Arizona State, a narrow loss on the road, and home games against UCLA and USC.
Yeah, putting themselves in a position. That's what you always want to do as a coach. Get your team an opportunity to win. You're right, Roxy. They haven't been able to close out, and that's how one college scout said they are the best 36, one of the best 36-minute teams in the nation. It wasn't a slight. You just got to get to that finish line. Good double team.
Fox shaking things up to start the second half. Brent Anticevich coming off the bench as Lars Tiemann gets the nod to begin the second half. Here is Joel Brown, who did not start the game but is starting the second half. Matt Bradley, a clean look and knocks down a three.
Both ways, that was excellent. The extra pass, passing up a good shot for a great shot. Bradley, bang. And then the defense, making them make the extra pass. That was good basketball both ways.
4 threes for Bradley. Spencer Jones, a deep two. Rattles and goes.
That's what they want Spencer Jones to add to his game, a mid-range, because he's a 3-and-D. He's a marksman, especially when his feet are set. But when he can give you that little mid-range game, he can stay on the floor longer.
Joel Brown in the key. And the rebound knocked out of bounds will stay at this end, sends Glenn Mayberry, and it's a Cal ball.
Roxy, you know how a little kid has a food buzz? This is like a basketball buzz. One pass on one side of the floor, making the ball pass, another pass, and then their best player splashing it. Oh, man, this is a basketball food buzz. I'm excited, Rox.
Ryan Bentley gives it back. And then Lucas Kasunas cleans it up for Stanford. So again, the Cardinal playing without Bryce Wills, Dejon Davis, and Zaire Williams. And all are day-to-day. And we asked Jared Haas earlier today on our Zoom call, and can you get those guys back? And he said, yeah, it's possible. I don't know how likely, but there is a chance because these teams will play again Sunday night at Maples Pavilion over at Stanford. And so there is some hope, some optimism, but I don't know how realistic it is that the three of them will be back come Sunday.
Yeah, and you look at it, man, arguably that's the best defensive backcourt in the nation because Wills can lock you down, Dejon Davis can lock you down, and of course for Williams, he's an NBA prospect, a lottery prospect. I hope he unpacks the bags, but I think he's gone, Rox. I think, personally.
Well, I'm with you about Davis and Wills. That, to me, I have not seen a better defensive backcourt in the country than those two.
Yeah,
Bryce Wills is an incredible on-ball defender. Kept alive by Lars Tiemann.
Oh, that's a shot. Inside that lane, go ahead and knock that shot down.
And a foul on Lucas Kasunas of Stanford, his first. As Lars Tiemann got knocked down. It can't be fun, AB, running in a 6'10", 260 like Lucas Kasunas. I don't care how big Lars Tiemann is.
Here's another one, Lars. It looked like they could be first cousins. I mean, it takes a lot to knock a big guy down if he doesn't want to go down.
That was 7', 250 that ran into is Andre Kelly in one for California, trying to get it back to a single-digit game here.
Kelly has good hands, he has good feet right here in traffic, good concentration, and he does look to score. That's his spot right there, that jump hook. Going over that left shoulder. I still say Matt Bradley should be averaging 25 shots a game, Roxy, because he's so efficient. It's almost like a tease. He can score easily. He's been in double figures before any of his teammates.
Did you tell Lefty Dressel I need 25 shots a game?
No, I came my first day of practice. I came passing it around. He said, son, in that southern drawl, I don't need you to pass. I need you to shoot. I said, what? Oh, it's on. So I'm the all-time shot attempt leader. I want you to know I'm proud of that fact, Roxy. Check the history books.
Illegal screen. Oscar Da Silva called for the foul, his first, and didn't agree with Larry Spalding. And it's a turnover on Stanford.
Yeah, Buck Williams went pro. He was third in the draft back in 1981. I was passing it around. He said, son, I need you to shoot the ball, bashy ball. I was like, oh, done. I'm going to jack it up. A lot of fun, Roxy.
AB needs his shots.
Now it's a V8 shot. Vitamins.
Shot clock winding down.
I know where Bradley
Joel Brown.
is.
Spinning, and the finish from Joel Brown, his first points.
Nice job by Joel Brown. I thought he passed up a shot a few possessions ago, but good concentration in traffic.
You see a different Cal team to start the second half?
Oh, absolutely. They're playing like that matters. Again, Anticevich, who really didn't give him anything, is coming off the bench. So coach is trying to figure out who wants it. It's about playing hungry. Throw out the stats now. Just go out there and compete.
And Andre Kelly the rebound, and Cal, who trailed it by 13 at the half, down 7, and a chance to get closer.
Well, veteran coaching staff, they're going to make the adjustment. Coach Haas knows that, and he wants his guys to continue to display the first punch to attack.
And a block called against Stanford, as they're saying the defender was inside the restricted circle. Couple of free throws as Cal climbing back in, AB.
All right, a lefty. I was a lefty, Roxy. You got to shoot the ball. Son, I don't need you to pass it. Shoot the ball, Roxy Bernstein.
We'll look at the Pac-12 as Evan Mobley recently named one of the finalists for the Wooden Award. Right now, Joe Lunardi has Stanford among the 5 Pac-12 teams in his latest edition of Bracketology, and we always have to keep an eye on the eye-popping numbers from McKinley Wright as Colorado had a tough loss last weekend when they blew a big second-half lead, and Utah came climbing back and stole one in Boulder, and Utah with a strong effort tonight, knocking off Arizona in Salt Lake City. And right before the break, they called, initially it appeared it was going to be a block as they pointed toward the restricted circle that the Stanford defender De Silva was inside the circle, but then the officials got together and they determined he was outside the restricted area and changed the call. So it is an offensive foul on Matt Bradley, his third.
Yeah,
and
I got no
that's a
problem with
turnover
that.
on Cal, and Stanford a 7-point lead.
He had 2 great players, the number 1 scorer and the number 4 scorer going at it. Good players are going to make good plays against each other. They took their time and made the right call. I got no problem with that one, Rox.
You know, one thing I do have a problem with, though, was we saw mention the Wooden Watch and Evan Mobley among the top 20.
What's your problem?
Where's Oscar De Silva? Oscar De Silva needs to be on that list. Come on. Are you telling me there's 20 better players in college basketball than Oscar De Silva?
You know, usually you're like a grumpy old man, but I'll go with you on that one, Grump. I'll go with you. That's a good one, Rox.
Am I the get off my lawn guy right now?
They're kids. They're college kids. Let them play. Rox, you know what I like about
called
you?
for the fouls. Jaden Dallaire to the line.
You know what I like about you?
Among many things, I'm guessing.
I'll put it in a time bottle. I'll text it to you in 20 years. Oh, my goodness. You are my guy, Rox. Oh, my goodness.
One
Dallaire,
more
how
for
about this
Jaden
one?
Dallaire. Yeah.
You know, we talk about the player of the year, and for the last 3 games, he hadn't been the best player on his team. It's been this young man. Oh,
Although Dallaire missed both, and Stanford scoreless for about 3.5 minutes now, allowing Cal to climb back.
Yeah, Cal runs a good offense. They don't take bad shots. Again, I love the coaching staff on both teams that demand excellence.
Ryan Bentley had a good look.
I'm ready for my man O'Connell to put on the super suit. He was freshman of the week, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists.
Oscar De Silva will get to the line.
Affectionately, I'm still mad at him, Rox. I know the Stanford education, the Cal education is priceless. But, man, my Terps.
He could have been a Terp,
lacrosse.
Michael
He
O'Connell.
could have been a Terp. Fear the turtle and all that other turtle stuff.
Oscar De Silva now 5 of 5 from the line. 15 points, along with 7 rebounds. It's Matt Bradley with his 3 fouls coming back.
You don't want the game to get out of hand playing catch-up. But, Roxy, if you look at both scorers, Bradley and also De Silva, they don't hunt their shots taking bad shots. I had a teammate, rest in peace, Pearl Washington, played at Syracuse. Pearl was going to get his shot. He's going to put that ball in his left hand and shoot it with his right hand. But he was always hunting that shot. You don't see that with these high scorers. Good ball movement. I love the spacing. You can see a double team coming. Nice.
Matt Bradley double clutches.
For Anticevic, he hadn't scored, but it can feel like he's gotten a part of the game where he got an assist in traffic. So let's see if that helps him on the defensive end, blocking shots and getting rebounds.
And a travel, Stanford turns it over. Stanford's gone 4.5 minutes without a field goal, yet they still lead it by 7, had a 42-29 lead at the half. So only 4 points for the Cardinals since halftime.
Yeah, and Dallaire as well. He's taking a seat now, but he missed 2 free throws. It's like a jab. It's like a jab. You're not always going to get a knockout punch, but get to the free throw line and just keeping that lead.
Matt Bradley open. Fouled on a 3. He'll have a chance at 4.
How did Cal get back in this game? They made the adjustment at halftime. Coach Fox just wants guys that care, that's playing with the cause. Look at that right there. Feet are set, and that's a bad foul. That's a bad foul. Spencer Jones.
20 now for Bradley. So he has 20 of Cal's 43. And it's a 3-point game as Cal on a 6-0 run over the last 31 seconds. And it's a 1-possession game right now.
Solid defense for Bradley. You don't want to pick up a cheap foul. Let's see if they get it to Oscar Da Silva.
Here he is. And he fumbled it out of bounds off his leg.
Right now, Cal is turning the tables, winning the hustle board, the deflections, first to the floor, taking charges. Those are winning plays. And now for Coach Haas, he knows that he has to pick up that momentum. He doesn't want that run for Cal. He wants to stop the run of the home team.
For Stanford, Adrian, playing their 4th game in 8 days, plus you're down 3 key players, how much of a concern is that here in the second half that Stanford could be running on fumes?
Obviously, Rox, yes, that is, but you cannot use that as an excuse. You're strapping it up. You've been playing well. Now, sometimes the giant is not in front of you. The giant is 18 inches above your heart and your head.
Right now, it might feel like Jared Haas and that giant is on their back, considering 4th game in 8 days. They were
Rox,
8-3.
what giant has been chasing you? What giant has chased you
Stanford's
most
lost
of your
4
life?
out of 6 since that 8-3 start.
Yeah, and so right now it's about the execution. You cannot control what's not on the floor. You've got a lot of firepower for Stanford, who's been missing, quite frankly, for the last couple of games. So you've got to be able to execute what's on the floor. I like the ball moving in this possession.
Shot clock at 5. Noah Tate's.
Shot fake.
Noah Tate's off the bench with 10.
We're going to call him Noah like that. He is playing like that, Rox. Where did he come from? Taking advantage of his opportunity, scoring in the flow. He's in double figures.
Turnover number 11 committed by Cal, which has been an ongoing issue for this Cal team, turnovers.
Is it okay to give yourself a nickname? Or is somebody else got to give you a nickname?
Well, for it to stick, I think somebody else has to give it to you.
Like Deion called himself Primetime. How about that one? It depends on how good you are, I guess. Or egomania. Did you have a nickname, Rox?
Roxy's a pretty good one.
I thought that was your birth name, your government name.
The nickname stuck from before I was born.
Okay.
Oscar Da Silva has it stripped, got it back and lays it in.
Good hands by Oscar. He plays bigger than his wiry frame, and he's got good feet in traffic.
Another Cal turnover as Jared Hyder gives it away, and Hyder's been in a little bit of a funk as of late. And he's had an up and down road this season, considering he wasn't planning on playing this year. He transferred from Fresno State. His waiver was denied, and Mark Fox basically shut him down because Hyder was dealing with an ankle issue. And then when they anticipated the possibility of this blanket waiver, which we got in the middle of December all across college basketball, where he became eligible, all of a sudden he had to rev it up into gear. to get into season mode when he didn't think he was going to play, and Cal shut him down for about 3 weeks to a month. Foul committed by Cal. Well, AB, Matt Bradley getting Cal back in the game. They were within one possession. It's now 7, but Matt Bradley's been the guy.
His record doesn't show, but he hates to lose. He's very competitive, and he's scoring easily in double figures, leading his team.
Well, Matt Bradley for California trying to bring the Golden Bears back. They trailed by 13 at the half. They cut it to 3. It's now a 7-point game, but Adrian, he's got that pretty stroke, and he's been using it tonight.
Yeah, Roxy, he is ultra efficient. In 25 minutes, he has 20 points, and he plays well off of his teammates. Right here, that was a dagger. A 4-point play. He got it rolling. What, 9 points in the second half.
He has 20 of Cal's 43. He's made 5 threes. The rest of the Cal team is just 1 of 8 from 3 outside of Bradley. Cal's made 16 field goals. He's got 6 of them.
Now, I'm telling you, I think he could average easily 25 points. 25 shot attempts a game because he takes good shots.
Oscar De Silva missing the 3. Bradley leads all scorers at 20. De Silva with 18 to lead Stanford.
Stanford had stalled out Dallaire, who's been averaging 13 points on the season, but the last 3 games, 20, has been quiet so far in the second half.
Ryan Bentley misfires. And he's one of the guys in the absence when Bradley was out and Tisevich was out that was stepped up and really was playing well, although he's hit a wall recently as Spencer Jones nails his second 3.
Now, if I'm Coach Fox, I'm upset at that possession because that is Spencer Jones' strength. He's a knockout artist at the 3-point line, and you cannot let him be so open that he's posing for a picture with the follow-through.
7-0 run for the Cardinal after Cal closed to within 3. Cal turns it over. Spencer Jones pushes. Jaden Dallaire. Jones from the corner. Cal on a run out. Here's Bradley 1-on-2. And a block is called as Andre Kelly tried to back his way in. Lucas Kasunis fouled number 3.
Got to be able to tag the shooters. Know the scouting report. Watch the ball movement. Oh, the double team attracting 2. Somebody's open. No, you can't overhelp him. O'Connell, he's not going to go in there and dunk it on you. That's a breakdown on the defensive end. Nice job by Spencer Jones knocking that down. Roxy, that's like me running at you on the post. I'm 6'8" with shoes on. It matters, Rox. Why would I double team you in the post?
And AB, I'd be flopping in the post if you're running at me.
Like that right there, that play there.
We have a whistle behind the play and a flop warning given to Matt Bradley. So that's just a warning. The next one will be a Class B technical, but just a warning given to Matt Bradley for a flop.
See, that's what you were just talking about right here. Oh, that's a hard sell. Come on, Matt. Matt, that little guy right there, he's built like a linebacker, man. He's not going to knock him over. Good ball movement again. The red jersey's moving.
De Silva in the lane. Cal comes away with it.
Both teams are trying to do the same thing. As a defense, you don't want movement and you don't like being picked. Watch that good cut.
Bentley had nowhere to go, so he decided to shoot it. And Michael O'Connell, the rebound. Here come the Cardinal. Noah Tate's missing a 3. Cal's gone scoreless for about 5 minutes since they got within 3.
John Wooden would say, don't mistake activity for achievement. There's been a lot of activity, but little achievement so far. So it's been a lull on the offensive end.
Did Bill Walton sneak into your house?
Roxy, I'm gonna tell you something. You can't see this, but I've got a pyramid of success sitting right
really?
here. Oh, please. That coach is unmatched, sir. Unmatched. When somebody can win 11 championships in what, 9 or 10 years, give me a call.
Foul on Jaden Dallaire. Stanford by 10, just over 9 minutes to play.
Like
A huge game for Stanford.
Well, yeah, that's very huge. We saw that in shoot-around today. Jared Haas knows the urgency. If they lose this one, which they're capable of doing, that would be considered a bad loss. Tier 4. Quad 4.
Andre Kelly gathers inside, and Stanford and De Silva the rebound. As the Cardinal right now, according to Joe Lunardi, among the last 4 teams in the field in his latest bracketology. As a nice pick and roll for Oscar De Silva.
Good things happen when you simplify the game. Oscar De Silva moving well without the basketball, getting points off of assists.
And De Silva claims the rebound. Baseball pass broken up, and it's out of bounds to the Cardinal. Jalen Celestine hustling there for Cal, but here's that last sequence.
Love this right here, attracting the defense, drawing it in, and then Oscar De Silva moves well without the basketball. 4-year senior that's gotten better every year, Roxy.
Did he just high-five Larry Spalding, the official? Heading toward the bench. Larry's hand was up, so maybe he was looking for a high five.
May have been. Trying to get an edge.
That's the kind of all-around guy Oscar De Silva is. He's a friend to all. Inside for Andre Kelly. Fouled, will get to the line. Can't get the shot, but he'll get 2 free throws. Second on Jaden Dallaire, but Stanford trying to put Cal away on the road against their arch rivals.
Silva coming through in the crunch. Double figures, and then he high-fives the ref. My partner right here really likes that one. Let's see that high five. Sleight of hand, Roxy.
Tip off your weekend, our next big NBA Friday doubleheader. The Raptors' 6-game road trip takes them to Brooklyn to take on KD, James Harden, and the Nets at 7:30. Then Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. The Celtics continue their West Coast swing in LA against Kawhi. Paul George and the Clippers. Our coverage starts NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern on ESPN and the app on Friday. And Jaylen Brown's here. The West Coast swing for the Celtics. What a year for former Cal star Jaylen Brown. He has been unbelievable.
Yeah, it's only getting better, too. We haven't scratched the ceiling yet. He is still playing well. It's going to get better.
He's got his gold on tonight. There's a lot of celebrities and Cal alums in that area. Marvin Jones right there. Oh, why you got Marcus Simeon? Oh, I'm going to cry now that he's like signed with the Blue Jays and left my A's. Aaron Rodgers. There's the newest Detroit Lion, Jared Goff, Justin Wilcox. Bernie Sanders is here. Mark Canna.
Didn't know you had so many distinguished alumni on this one.
Jay Kidd. Look at E40's even here. He's sitting with Marshawn. Andre Kelly hits both. See what happens when you show up for a Cal game, AP? You never know who you're going to see.
Live or in person.
10-point game. Max Merle's had a strong game off the bench tonight, back in there for Stanford, but the Cardinal give it away. Cal hasn't made a field goal in about 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, but they continue to get to the free throw line because they're playing the right way, meaning they're looking for an open cutter. They're looking for a guy to drive the gaps hard.
Mikhail Foreman launches. And Stanford boxing out, and Jaden Dallaire claims the rebound for the Cardinal. As we mentioned before how big of a game this is for Stanford. And they'll play Cal again on Sunday at home. Just their second home game this season in Maples Pavilion. But you wonder, well, Stanford at 10-7, well, why are they in the field right now, according to Joe Lunardi? Well, Stanford has the best non-conference win of anybody in the Pac-12. And they destroyed Alabama on a neutral floor. And that was a tremendous win for Jared Haas at the Maui Invitational back in North Carolina. Here's their wins by quad breakdown. They've beaten Arizona twice. They handed UCLA their first conference loss. And keep in mind, Stanford, they beat Arizona and UCLA minus Dejon Davis, Bryce Wills, and Zaire Williams.
Yeah, I was getting ready to go there as also with the firepower. You look at the guys that are not there. Nice driving kick. Kelly is doing well, doing a lot of work inside the paint.
So Andre Kelly to slam, and he has 11 now. As Cal's close to within 8, 6:41 to play. Cal trying to hang in there with their arch rivals on their home floor. Mark Few and the Zags getting all they can handle from the Pacific Tigers over in Stockton. From the latest bracketology from Joe Lunardi, the Zags, the #1 seed, up there with Baylor, who's on pause again. Michigan, Alabama, who Stanford has beaten. And the 2 seed line, a couple of Big Ten teams with Villanova and Houston.
I think it's going to be like that in the tournament as well when they all get to Indianapolis. I don't think it's going to be all #1s. Anyone can beat anyone, so this is going to be a fantastic NCAA tournament.
Just beating the 10 count and getting it across was Michael O'Connell. Stanford is led by as many as 13.
Stanford this half has had a bend but don't break, meaning that they have been losing the second half with defense as well.
Stanford wanting a foul call, but officials don't agree, and Spencer Jones losing it out of bounds.
Roxy, this is a big possession. Right, yeah, this is a big possession on this one. You can cut it to 5, possibly if you hit a 3-pointer, and you continue to get to the free throw line. They have been fantastic in this second half.
Grant Anticevich lines it up. And he has had a rough night. He's 0 of 5 from the floor.
I don't mind that shot because he's been in the flow. He's made some good assists. He's made some good plays. That was a good makeable shot in the flow of the offense.
Lucas Kasunas powering his way inside.
Wasn't the prettiest play, but you'll take it.
Back to a double-digit lead for the Cardinal. Cal with another giveaway, their 15th turnover tonight.
Yeah, well, missed shot right there and then a turnover are like 2 negative plays. And this is where you can see the reluctance of Grant Anticevich. He's a wonderful player, but he's not scored in this game.
Stanford looking for another road win, as they already have 4 true road wins this season, including winning in Tucson. And a foul, Matt Bradley, his 4th, with inside 5 minutes to go.
And into something, Roxy, I think, wasn't Stanford the last team to play a home game?
Yeah, the last power conference team to play a home game. And they did it Tuesday night, was their first home game.
And tell out again, they were on the road for 37 days, or another one for 40. What was
59 out of 64 days the Cardinal were on the road. The miss from Spencer Jones. Stanford in the bonus. Playing their 4th game in the last 8 days. And a foul will put Matt Bradley at the line for a 1-and-1, the 3rd on Jones.
You know, there's a saying that adversity introduces a man to himself, and having to endure adversity They're learning about themselves.
So Matt Bradley, 20 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists tonight. He's made 5 threes. He's 3 for 3 from the line. And a 1-and-1 with 4:46 remaining. Full day of college hoops across all our networks. Saturday highlighted by a Sonic blockbuster, Carolina and Duke at 6 Eastern. Then the border battle between number 11, Tennessee and Kentucky at Rupp Arena. Both games on ESPN and the app, so you can watch from anywhere. Saturday showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. Carolina, Duke, Tennessee, Kentucky highlight Saturday's coverage. So Bradley hits them both to make it an 8-point game.
Good patience by the Cardinal.
De Silva and a foul on Andre Kelly, his 4th. Kelly has 4, Bradley now with 4. With 4:24 remaining, and Oscar De Silva will shoot 2.
That started with the good patience by Stanford, moving the ball, probing the defense. They're not bailing them out with a bad shot or a turnover, and then you give it to one of the premier players in the nation to get to that free throw line.
21 for De Silva, his 8th 20-point game this season. Already twice this year he's been named Pac-12 Player of the Week. And he's got to be right there, AB, as far as the leaders go for Pac-12 Player of the Year.
Absolutely. He's doing everything right, and also he's on par to graduating. What is his major, Rocks? He does DNA coding, or which one is his major?
Well, he worked this summer, or I should say last summer, in a research lab with Dr. Michael Longacre, studying stem cell research. In addition to that, not only was he doing that, but Oscar De Silva is fluent in 6 languages.
Oh, my goodness.
Foul on Michael O'Connell. Rattles out from Joel Brown, who's only a 44% foul shooter. Look, I have enough trouble with 1. I can't imagine speaking 6.
I've been to many countries, and all of them was the same way, pass the ball in English.
Jaden Dallaire, a 3. His first bucket of the second half, and that equals the largest lead of the night for the Cardinal with 3:46 remaining.
Good job by Jaden. He was not able to score late in the first quarter, and now that basket was huge for his confidence for the last 3:46.
62-49, Stanford and Jaden Dallaire may have delivered the knockout blow. Well, Oscar De Silva, huge night for the Cardinal, 22 points, 10 rebounds, a double-double, also 4 assists, 2 steals. Adrian, he's doing everything for the Cardinal tonight.
Yeah, we said in the open, Roxy, that he scores in the flow of the offense, doesn't take bad shots, allows his teammates to play off of him, and you're seeing that ultra efficiency.
And there are the Pac-12 Player of the Year candidates. Who you giving the edge to right now?
Oh, my goodness. You got to look at the winning team, first of all, so Evan Mobley in that group. Also, Tiger Campbell, I don't know how much they would really give that to him because his stats don't jump out like the rest of them. But I would say it's Evan, McKinley Wright, and Oscar.
And it's tough for Chris Duarte because Oregon has just had their season stopped, and they're resuming action tonight. But with a couple of pauses because of protocols for Oregon, it's been a tough go of it for Chris Duarte. And there's a stoppage here, and there may be a clock issue, and that's why Kevin Brill on your left, Larry Spalding on the right are going to the monitor to check on the clock. Right now it's saying 3:38 remaining. And these two teams will play again on Sunday at Maples Pavilion. The game was originally supposed to be played in March 6th, the final week of the year, but the Pac-12 has been maneuvering some games and trying to create a buffer in case some games need to be made up that last week of the season. So look, both teams are healthy, both are ready to go, and so they'll try to get this game in on Sunday as So tonight and then Sunday for this back-to-back rivalry for Cal and Stanford. And the Cardinal, there they are in the landscape of the league. UCLA has a one-game lead on USC. They're playing this weekend, the first of 2 meetings between the Bruins and the Trojans. And Oregon has played only 6 conference games.
Yeah, and you look at that one, and you got to play that one out. I like what they're taking their time. This has been a well-called game. The refs haven't been loud in this game.
So they have put
now,
3
Rox.
seconds back on the shot clock for Cal. And 3:41 to go. 3 seconds put back on the game clock as well for Cal.
We'll try to post up Bradley. Nice ball movement.
Matt Bradley will get to the line. And single-handedly almost trying to will Cal back.
He's been doing that all season long. They are coming out of a timeout. The veteran coaching staff wants to get the ball in their best player's hand. He's a lefty, so he was driving in on his strong side, showing the ball fake. You've got to run at him to get the ball out of his hands that close to the basket.
You like those lefties, don't you?
My dad's left-handed, brother. I was just like my dad. My dad, rest in peace, Big Charlie, 6'6", left-handed with an attitude. He's a brilliant man. That's why I didn't go to Georgetown, man. I live with it. Coach Thompson type guy.
How close were you to going to Georgetown, play for the late John Thompson?
It was right in my backyard. Lefty was winning. Lefty Drizel at Maryland, Georgetown. You couldn't go wrong with either school. I was happy to be recruited by both of them, but I was a Terp. I always cheer for Georgetown if they weren't playing Maryland too, though. Still do to this day.
Shot clock inside 10.
Good defense without fouling. I like what I see from the gold jerseys.
Step back from Oscar Da Silva. Matt Bradley tracks down the rebound. Inside for Andre Kelly. 13
So
for
happy.
Kelly.
I'm
Down
so
to a
happy to
9-point
see that.
game.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Rox. I'm so happy to see that for Kelly. He's too good of a player. He should be averaging 13 to 15 points a game, especially when he gets touches inside the paint.
Poked out of bounds by Jalen Celestine. Stays with Stanford and 13 to shoot. Here's Dallaire. A block, and Matt Bradley is fouled out with 2:26 to go.
Moving without the basketball is so dangerous, and Dallaire does both. He's a 3-level scorer. He's averaged 20 points a game the last 3 games, and look at that, moving without the basketball, fouled out Cal's leading scorer. That's a good call.
Adrian, if you're Matt Bradley in that situation, you need to just back off, knowing you have 4 and you can't afford to foul out.
Yeah, that's easy for us to say, Rox, being honest, but you're right, because you like his presence on the floor. He could get that back in a 3-point play or a 3-point shot. But yes, that's why you never want your star players to pick up cheap fouls early in the game.
A miss from Jaden Dallaire. 11-point lead for the Cardinal, gunning for win number 11. Knocked away from Grant Anticevich. 16 California turnovers tonight.
Grant has lost his confidence right now, looking for a shot offensively. Again, he is, 0 for 5 in this game.
Shot clock winding down. Nice pass to Silva inside. Lucas Kasunas can't finish. And tipped out of bounds. It's a Stanford ball.
You know, with a quick turnaround, if Stanford can finish this 140, and you have a quick turnaround with the same opponent, O'Connell hasn't scored in this game. He'll look to be efficient. Nice pass.
But Oscar Da Silva has 24 now for Da Silva.
Roxy, that was the same play that they beat UCLA on.
That in that last second in overtime of the inbound. And a foul on Joel Brown will put Stanford back at the line. A minute 21 to go. And the Cardinal, who were coming across the bay. Look, you hate to label a game, Adrian, a must-win. But in a lot of ways, this was for Stanford. And they responded. They played a strong game.
Well, and they're going to have to do it again Saturday, because if they lose to this same team that's going to be anxious to get this win back, that will be considered a bad loss.
Largest lead of the night for the Cardinal here. And a foul will put Andre Kelly at the line. It's on Oscar Da Silva for the reach-in. 68 seconds remaining. Cal will drop their 5th in a row, which is a season worst. So here's Kelly at the stripe. One more. Full day of college hoops across all our networks on Saturday. Highlighted a Sonic blockbuster. Carolina and Duke at 6 Eastern. Then it's the border battle between number 11 Tennessee and Kentucky at Rupp Arena. Both games on ESPN and the app, so you can watch from anywhere. Saturday showcase there, ESPN and the app. A good suspicion that Jared Haas might be watching that Carolina game. Watching his mentor Roy Williams, and Stanford spent a week there at Chapel Hill after the Maui Invitational. So one more free throw coming up.
Hey, Roxy, it'll be interesting in this game Sunday, because Kelly has put together a fantastic game. He should get this free throw, which will make it 15 points and 7 rebounds. I'm going to be interested to see how he plays Saturday, because I think he set the bar for himself. He can do this every game. I think he's that talented.
Now 5 of 5 at the line. Full court pressure from the Golden Bears. And Stanford in no hurry. We'll slow it up. The Cardinal will get to 11 and 7, and a foul will send Michael O'Connell to the line. And there's that lacrosse toughness. He hit the deck hard, and he's getting ready to get right back up.
I don't want to hear that, man. I don't want to hear that, because that would have been at Maryland.
Am I pouring salt on the wound, AP?
You're that kind of guy. Get off my grass kind of a guy. Oh, hey, Rox, let's remind the audience again what Stanford has been playing without, and they did a good job. Deshaun Davis.
No Dejon Davis, no Bryce Wills, and no Zaire Williams.
Yes. So they've been thin in the guard position, but if they get any of these guys back, you got accountability, and now you've got some depth. Stanford is playing with house money when they're able to win without these guys.
And Jared Haas told us earlier today when we talked to him that it's day-to-day now with those guys, that he anticipates them coming back at some point, hopefully soon. And look, it could happen as early as Sunday. He wouldn't commit to saying it's going to happen on Sunday. But the door is open for the possibility for them to come back on Sunday when they host Cal. And then they have a critical home sequence next week with Colorado and Utah coming to Maples Pavilion.
Yeah, you got to play with some urgency. All these teams, if you don't play the right way, can beat you, because that's how good the Pac-12 is. But with Stanford, if they can get some of that firepower back, Dejon Davis or Zaire Williams, my goodness, you've got yourself a tough team that can beat anybody in the country.
So Andre Kelly is fouled out with 43 and a half seconds to go. And Stanford headed to the line here. Lucas Kasunas.
Roxy, mark that down. 15 points and 7 rebounds for Andre Kelly. And let's see if he set himself a standard against a very good Stanford team.
Kwani gets the rebound. And loose ball. Stanford's got it. And these teams are getting after one another. It's going to make for an interesting night on Sunday, that's for sure. And Sam Beskin bringing it up. Walk on. And he'll get to the foul line with 20 seconds to go. And it's funny, Adrian, we asked Jared Haas about Sam Beskin earlier today. I don't know if I've ever heard a coach glow and elated to talk about a player as Jared Haas was to talk about Sam Beskin.
Yeah, well, it's a lot in his name. You look at, break it down, it's be kind, be's kind. So he said, Beskin said, my mom is the kindest woman he's ever met. So it's a wonderful story about him. He's well loved, well respected. I like how he's trending.
Someday, Jerry was saying, he wants to be president of the United States. That's the kind of kid Sam Beskin is.
He'll remember good old coach.
If it ever gets to that point.
Quick turnaround,
Final 10
Roxy.
seconds.
Good job. Stanford
Well,
did
good
what
job.
they were supposed to do.
Yep, 24 from Oscar Da Silva. Stanford shoots 54%, and they hold Cal to 36% shooting. Cal threatened Stanford in the second half, but Stanford found a way to put it away and get a much-needed road victory to stay on the good side of Joe Lunardi's bubble in bracketology. For Adrian Branch and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein saying so long, Stanford over Cal, 70-55.